Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. Why am I wearing this hat? I'm wearing it for one reason alone. I've put it on for one reason alone, because I wish to tip it to Leigh Wood and Michael Conlan for giving us a truly outstanding, astounding fight. Okay, this was an incredible war. Before we get into it, at the time of me recording this, Michael Conlan is in hospital. He was... the way the fight ended was he was knocked out of the ring a minute and a half into the final round, the 12th round, and the fight was waved off. He was then given oxygen, stretchered out, and taken straight to hospital. As of yet, there'll be no reports of how he's doing. Let's just hope he's doing okay. Right, where do we begin with this one as far as the fight's concerned? How about we begin right at the start? Because before the fight, before the opening bell, the general consensus was Conlan will win on points, or Wood will stop him at some point. Wood looked like the bigger man, certainly has the heavier hands. He has a thudding sort of power, which he carries very late. We'll get to that later. First round, Conlan, razor sharp, has that style where his hands are low and he kind of stands just out of range and then fires in very quick single punches. Thinks well, Conlan, sets traps well, and Wood didn't appear intimidated at all, even though it was in front of his home crowd. He was moving forward. Conlan was picking him, but Wood was doing some good work until the final second of the first round, where Wood, I don't think he had his back to the ropes, but he was near the ropes. Conlan fires a swooping, looping right hand, as is his style. It lands bang on Wood's jaw, and Wood hits the floor on his back. And as he hit the floor, I thought, this is it. He's not getting up from that. Well, he did. Right on the bell. He gets up, goes back to the corner in the second round. Conlan, he's got the bit between his teeth. He can't miss with that. Conlan, by the way, if you didn't know, is a southpaw. He can't miss with that looping right hand. It's a real swinger. And yet at the same time, it's so fast that it's deceptively effective. You would think that a fighter, an opponent, would be able to see it coming. Well, Leigh Wood, if he could see it coming, he couldn't get out of the way, but at least he was getting his his right hand up more. In the second round, he was shaken again on several occasions, almost went down a couple of times. He sagged badly, was hanging on for dear life. Conlan was having his way with him. Third round, Conlan. But by the fourth, certainly the fifth, Wood was getting his legs back. And it was noticeable and rather ominous that Conlan was spending, seemingly voluntarily, too much time with his back to the ropes. And yes, Wood was when he had Conlan where he wanted him, which was on the ropes, he was unloading with a lot of punches, unloading with a lot of energy. Perhaps that was Conlan's strategy, to draw the energy out of him, to draw his sting. And he was missing with a lot of punches, but he was also landing as well with some of them. Conlan didn't seem that fussed. By the way, I forgot to mention, in the second round, even though he dominated it, Conlan picked up a cut. It wasn't bothered by it, and it was controlled by the corner, but it did bleed. I don't think the blood was going into the eye. Anyway, getting back to the fifth round, it was noticeable that there was a very slow but noticeable, sort of unpronounced, but nevertheless it was there, this slight changing of the tide gradually. And certainly by the 6th, 7th, 8th round, those middle rounds, yeah, Wood was back in it. He was still losing. He was still, I think, I'm trying to remember what I had it offhand. I think I had it at one point after 9. I think I had it 6-3 to Conlan. Okay, but Conlan was slowing up noticeably, and like I say, he was hanging on the ropes, and it's way too much. One of his cornermen, not Adam Booth, but one of his cornermen was, stay off the effing ropes, he was saying to him, stay off the effing ropes. And I was thinking, yeah, you're telling me, stay off those bloody ropes. But nevertheless, Conlan was still doing good work. In the middle of the ring, there was only one winner, and that was Conlan. He was landing left hand, those looping left hands at will. I forgot to mention in the middle rounds, well, probably from about the third round onward, actually, through the middle rounds, he was landing some wicked body punches. Really good body work. And you could see Wood didn't like it. His hands were dropping. He was sagging. Tony Bellew on the DAZN commentary said he thought Conlan would win by a body punch knockout, which is a very precise thing to predict. And I was thinking, Bellew might be on the money here. But the incredible courage, fortitude, resiliency, downright toughness of Wood, he just wouldn't give in. He wouldn't go down again. It's amazing. He got up from that first round knockdown. That was amazing enough that he didn't go on the floor again from either body punches or those swooping overhand rights from Conlan. That's amazing in itself. And he was taking a frightful beating. But he'd warmed into the fight. His adrenaline was pumping, and suddenly punches that would have flattened him previously, or that almost did flatten him in the first round, weren't having a great deal of effect. It's almost like he'd become numb to the power. Of course, Conlan, having used up a lot of energy, was probably not hitting quite as sharply and quite as powerfully, but he was still finding the target. But again, I repeat, it was noticeable when Conlan was on the ropes, Wood was having success. Wasn't landing everything, but he was having success. And then we moved into the championship rounds. I can't remember if it was the 8th or the 9th. There was this just unbelievable exchange of punches. And by this point, I was thinking about my all-time favourite fight, which is Nigel Benn against Gerald McClellan. Which, if you haven't seen it, I'm sure you have. Most of you have anyway. You've got to see it. It's just unbelievable. This had sort of shades of that, because Wood was losing the fight right until the championship rounds and probably during most of the championship rounds, but he was still there. He was in the 11th round. Was it the 11th round? I think it was. They had another unbelievable exchange of heavy hands, and Wood landed a left hook which caught Conlan. Conlan was rocked by it, slipped on some water, and it was classed as a knockdown. Adam Booth, that was right at the end of the round, the end of the 11th round. Adam Booth was furious. He was saying it was a slip. Look, there's water on the canvas. And there was, but a punch did land. So, yeah, I think it was the right call by the referee. The referee, by the way, was pretty good. So, which brings us to the 12th round. And my card, unbelievably, considering the first 2-3 rounds, if Wood had won that round, he would have got a draw. I would have made it 113, point off each man for each knockdown. But it didn't go through that 12th round. In the 12th round, Wood comes out having knocked down Conlan at the end of the 11th. He thinks he needs a knockout to win. I don't know what was going through Conlan's mind. Halfway through the round, Wood, carrying that thudding cement bag power right to the end, he got Conlan on the ropes and chinned him and knocked him out through the ropes. And Conlan, you couldn't see it on the DAZN on the TV, but for all reports, Conlan was out before he hit the floor. So he was dead weight hitting the floor. The referee didn't even bother counting, waved it off. Massive celebration until they realised Conlan was out. The celebrations became subdued, and subsequently Conlan was taken to hospital, where he now is. Let's just hope he's okay. However, let's pay tribute to both these fighters. The incredible fortitude and toughness of Leigh Wood to take such a ferocious shellacking and to carry that power into it wasn't just a shellacking to the jaw. It wasn't just that he was stunned. It was the body work Conlan was doing. And also to Conlan, who played more than his part in this incredible war. This is why we love boxing. I just really am hoping desperately that Conlan's okay, because it was a bad knockout and it was a grueling fight. Both men had cuts. At the end of the 11th, Conlan looked in terrible shape. He had a big cut. There was a headbutt cuts, by the way, but he also had blood coming out of his mouth. It was, I mean, I know he's a massively decorated amateur, but this is the program. Oh, this is hard. And when you think that, Wood has come back from 2 previous defeats, one to Jazza Dickens. I forget who the other one's to offhand, but That man can whack. He can really whack. So massive respect to both these guys. I'm sure you saw the fight. If you haven't, dig it out. It's on DAZN. Much love to both these guys. This is why we love boxing. This is why they're warriors. You know, huge respect to both of them. Did you see the fight? What did you think? Leave your comments below if you've got any. Thank you for subscribing to this channel. I always appreciate your time. If you're new, please subscribe. Hit the like button if you like this video. And yeah, this is why we love boxing. Leigh Wood, MICHAEL Conlan. Where's my hat? Gentlemen, thank you. I salute you.